October 2020. JOTI. Well, JOTA. Jamboree on the Air / Jamboree on the Internet. It's an annual worldwide event for scouts, leaders, supporters of scouting the world over. And where, thousands of members of the association get together online and, either chat in a designated chat room area that's age specific or language specific. Or they, in some cases, arrange some face-to-face time, some supervised face-to-face time online, be it through Skype, Zoom, whatever. During the course of that weekend, just gone, a rather energetic debate broke out, both in the leaders' chat room and on the Jamboree internet station called JOTI Radio, about whether or not a Jaffa cake was a cake or a biscuit. Now this, if you are involved in any way, shape or form with youth work, be it teaching, community work, youth work, scouts, guides, sports clubs, whatever, you tend to find that if you're an adult leader in any of these outfits or a teacher, whatever, once the youngsters have gone to bed at night or gone to their tents or whatever, the amount of random subjects that crop up around the campfire or in the the common room or whatever, they can be many and varied. And the chat room that night was no exception at JOTI. But this debate went on over 2 hours, and it spiraled out of all control when I innocently typed, well, actually my favourite nibble at night is a fig roll with cheese on it. So they were having this debate also on the radio station among the DJs in between songs. So I sent them an email and I told them that. And, well, it started a very energetic debate. I think we actually, by the time we finished the night, I think we actually broke one of the DJs. So apologies to whoever that was. But we traumatised the poor lad. He just kept saying over and over again, I just can't believe that there are leaders out there eating fig rolls with cheese spread on it. Oh, it gets worse than that. Far worse. So I'm going to give you a quick guided tour of what you're about to see here today. It's a nice selection platter of some of my own signature hors d'oeuvres for at night around the campfire, for myself or for other adult leaders, teachers, whatever, depending on the event. So here's a quick little whistle-stop tour of what we're going to talk about tonight. Right then, a quick guided tour of what to expect today. So, starting here, this is a fruit shortcake biscuit because I haven't got any Garibaldi. I'll explain later on why I need to replace that. This is a fig roll. We'll discuss that more in detail in a minute. That's a Jaffa cake. Again, if you're not from Ireland or Britain, you might not know what one of them is, but we'll give a full breakdown of that in a second. And these are the savoury snacks that I was, sweet and savoury mixes, as they're called. I'll go into each one of these also in detail. So it's not your average platter that you would serve to your guests, but these are ones that I've come up with over the years through residentials with schools, scout camps, scout residentials, youth events, me going off for a few days for some me time. So let's tuck in. Yeah, perhaps I should have said at the start there, but be warned, viewer discretion is advised. You're about to see some scenes of gratuitous mixtures of savoury and sweet. And that's the whole idea behind it. Your four basic taste sensations on your tongue. Your tongue is divided into categories. Here comes the science bit. Salt, sweet, bitter, and sour, right? I think about that one. I haven't done that since I was in secondary school about 30 odd years ago. So you can mix and match various things. Savoury is kind of meat, cheese, potatoes, that kind of thing, coleslaw, whatever. Sweet, obviously, as the name suggests, jam, honey, sugary stuff, biscuits, whatever. But it's the biscuit that we're going to start with. And I'm going to start with this one. This is a Jaffa cake. This is what started the whole thing off over the weekend of JOTI 2020, over the weekend. Now, it looks like a biscuit, it smells like a biscuit, it tastes like a biscuit. It's a layer of kind of sponge, but a kind of a slightly hard sponge with some orange, kind of quite tart, quite not sour, but quite tart orange conserve in it. Not marmalade. Marmalade's very bitter. This is quite sweet, but kind of tart at the same time, and then covered in a layer of chocolate. But it is actually officially classed as a cake. If you ever want to know the defining difference between a cake and a biscuit, a cake goes hard if it's left out, if it's left to elements. A biscuit will go soft. Now this will go hard if let out, so that defines it as a cake. But it was sold as such to get around the tariff laws, because there was a higher tariff, I believe. On you can look at this all up if you just go onto YouTube and key in QI. Now, if you're not from Britain or Ireland, you might not know that program. It's called a program quite interesting, and it's a panel game show where each week they have celebrity guests in, and they're being asked questions that might not always have the obvious answer, and you learn. It's a very informative, very educational program, well worth watching it, and so. It's called QI. If you go in onto YouTube and type in QI Jaffa Cake, the story's there, right? So I'm trying to keep this video to a minimum. But yeah, so the Jaffa Cake is straightforward enough. Now, you can dunk it. I don't drink tea or coffee on camps, residentials. I drink hot blackcurrant juice. It's very sweet, it's very nice, very refreshing. But it's great for dunking biscuits in too. Yeah, in as well. So you can dunk a Jaffa Cake, you get a nice melty bit of the chocolate and all that, and the sponge soaks up in that, and you get a nice, gorgeous. So you should never be afraid to dunk your biscuits in whatever you're drinking. It gives it a nice texture. Similarly, you can do it with a fig roll. Now fig rolls, if you're in the States, it's called a fig Newton. I don't know what they're called. I don't even know if they're available in Australia, New Zealand, Africa, anything like that. But it's called a fig roll. If you go on the internet and just type in how are fig rolls made, it's straightforward enough. It's dried sweetened figs inside a kind of a hard, soft biscuit stroke hard sponge pastry type casing. Quite nice to eat on their own, but again, they're gorgeous if you dunk them in your tea or your coffee, right? Or in my case, blackcurrant. Now, my preferred choice is a brand that begins with R, because I don't want to start advertising specialist products. I'm not getting paid for it anyway. So beautiful when dunked. Oh. Really nice when dunked. And again, especially in hot blackcurrant. This one here is a fruit shortcake. It's a shortbread biscuit with dried currants in it, coated in sugar. Again, on its own, beautiful. But again, dunked in your hot drink, takes on a whole new life. Oh, the things I suffer for you people, right? So, but that's kind of the sweet side of it. That's, when you add savoury items to it, you can add savoury to sweet and you get a lovely mixture. You will have come across it in maybe if you're at a barbecue. Sometimes stuff that's being cooked at a barbecue is glazed with sweet stuff. I've seen chicken and meat, all sorts, glazed before it's cooked. Where they take a brush and they brush on some honey onto it, or some molasses, or golden syrup, or anything along that line, and you get a lovely caramelized sweet taste on the skin of the chicken or on the meat or whatever. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the same can be done with cold snacks. So I'm going to start off with the offending article that kicked off the whole debate and nervous breakdown, let's be said, for at least one of the radio staff. Again, I apologise, but you listen to JOTI radio over the weekend and weird things are going to pop up on air. So this is a fig roll that I've discussed, but with a bit of cheese spread on it, and just for a bit of extra kick, a bit of chili mayonnaise. Now, if you want, you can pause the video and dry heave and retch for a while and then come back, or skip through it or whatever, right? But obviously you don't dunk this because it just gets messy. So actually I'll just put the hot blackcurrant down for a minute. There we go. So, quick close up. Right, absolutely gorgeous. And so, here we go. And the contrast of the flavours and the taste. You have the sweetness of the figs, the texture of the casing on the fig roll, the kind of the biscuity pastry casing on the fig roll. Then the cheese comes in and adds a nice kind of cheesy, smoky flavour. I'm using cheese spread or ham, but you can use pretty much anything. Any type of cheese spread, goat's cheese, any sort of thing. I've even on a few occasions put some camembert on it, and then stuck it in the microwave for about 10 seconds just to get it kind of melting a bit, and then add a bit of sauce to it then, and just absolutely fantastic. Now, if you want to, if that's not your particular cup of tea, there's a nice little afterkick. When you use chili mayonnaise, it's almost like a delayed action on a hand grenade. You pull the pin, you throw it, and 5 seconds later, bang. You're chewing it and it's gorgeous. The minute you swallow it, about 2 seconds after you swallow it, you get the chili kicks in, and it's just, it's lovely. Right, so, this is a fruit shortcake. Now, I'm using fruit shortcake, but sometimes I use a biscuit called a Garibaldi. Now, sadly, I haven't got any today because they ran out of them in the shop, the local shop here. I live in a small town here, and unfortunately, the local little shop didn't have the biscuits I was looking for. But you can just as easily use a fruit shortcake. Now, but Garibaldi, you may have come across it before, the little rectangular biscuits. They're quite a hard, little bit like hardtack, but not nearly as hard. But again, no sugar on it. It's it's a very plain, hard biscuit, nearly like a cracker, but not as crumbly. There's no way to describe it. But again, it has dried currants in it. I think sometimes they're referred to as squashed fly biscuits sometimes. I'm not sure. It depends. There's regional names, regional variations. But you could use a Garibaldi, but it's not as sweet. This, obviously, the fruit shortcake, very, very sweet. So on this, I have some Brussels pate. Now, this is just the pate on its own. I haven't garnished it. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't added to it. So, so here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yes. Again, the softness of the shortbread biscuit, the sugar, the fruit, and then the quite strong flavour of the Brussels pate. You can use any type of pate, liver pate, duck pate, any type of pate, any type of spreadable meat. You could even slice some ham. I have in the past opened up a tin of Spam and got a cheese grater and grated some ham and cheese and mixed it up and spread it on it. And it just, again, a little bit of sauce on it, but you don't have to have sauce on it. You can mix and match any of these. There's no limit other than your imagination. So none of these are copyrighted. Feel free to have a go yourself. Now, if biscuits aren't your thing, this is a toasting waffle. Not a potato waffle that you get in Britain and Ireland. This is more of a pastry type waffle. The types Americans and Canadians will know what I'm talking about. It's like a griddle shaped pancake. Now on this one, I put a little bit of butter and some cheese coleslaw, and then a few prawns, and then I've sprinkled it with some what's called chip seasoning, or if you're in Canada or the States, fries. It gets a bit confusing. In Ireland, where I am, and in Britain, what they would call in America fries, we call chips. Now, what we call chips, they call... what we call... Oh, God, this is getting confusing. Sorry. What they call fries, we call chips. What they call chips, we call crisps. And it gets worse, But for the moment, we'll just concentrate on this. So again, some nice fresh prawns. It can be any type of meat. You can use any type of seasoning. I've used paprika. I've used onion, salt. I've used both. Again, there's no limit other than your imagination. And this is actually quite a good little activity to do with your charges, be it your class, your scout group, your guide company, cub pack, youth group, sports club on a night where you're just having a fun night, and just let them, come up with the ideas themselves and have a little competition at your next meeting. And, have it like a MasterChef competition where they have to come up with a nice selection platter of hors d'oeuvres or, snacks, nibbles, whatever. And just let them use their imagination. Now, this is quite a meal in itself. This is quite filling. So what I tend to do sometimes is cut them into 2 or even 4 to give that kind of mini kind of nibbles taste. Especially if you've got a lot of them to get through. So I might not go through all of this. I'll just take a bite out of it. Oh, that is stunning. There are so many flavours going on at the moment, it's just unreal. You have the crunchiness of the coleslaw, held together by the cheese kind of flavouring in it, mayonnaise, bits of grated cheese in it. The prawns, again, are both crunchy and savoury. The seasoning kicks it off beautifully, gives a nice little kick of an aftertaste to it. And then the waffle just holds it all together, that kind of chewy consistency of the waffle. So I'm going to buy that. Don't go away. I'll be back. All right, which brings me on to the last thing I'm going to show you today, which is, now you don't have to use biscuits, you don't have to use waffles, you can use cake. Fruit cake. Plain cake, Madeira cake. This is a ginger and fruit cake. So it's a ginger cake with, again, with sultanas in it. Not as dried as you would find in the biscuits. The biscuit ones you tend to find they're very dried out, they're very desiccated, but quite nice. In a cake they tend to be more fruity, more full-bodied, more moist. You can even sprinkle some more onto it if you want. Again, there's absolutely no limit to what you can do with this, right? So on here I've put butter, slice of ham, and just some ordinary coleslaw this time, no seasoning. But again, you can add seasoning to it. I might just add some seasoning to it. Where's that gone? Yeah, let's be adventurous. This is some of the aforementioned that I used on the fig roll. It's some chili mayonnaise, so it gives it a nice little kick to it. Right, it's like Dexter's Laboratory in here at the moment. Right, so again, it's quite big. So, if you're serving it to a lot of people and you want them to sample lots of different things, it's always advisable to cut them into smaller sections. Either that way or that, or whatever, make them smaller so they're, finger food, just nibbled. And when you have a lot of them, people can then mix and match and try their own. Excuse me. Oh yeah. There are about 20 different things going on at once here now. It's quite a strong ginger cake, so you've got that gingery taste coming through. You've got the fruit there, you've got the coleslaw, the crunchiness of the coleslaw, the texture of the ham, and that kick of chili in the mayonnaise, again, is just, oh, yeah. So I'm going to leave the rest of that, and I shall I'll put that out of its misery as soon as I finish shooting here. So, that's it in a nutshell. That's what caused all of the, not controversy, caused a bit of dry heaving with some of the leaders that night, but some of them, in fairness, thought right, and I have to hand it to the aforementioned DJ on the JOTI station. I can't remember the guy's name, but if I had a hat on, I'd take it out to him. He said, I'm not going to pass judgment on the cheesy fig roll thing. I'm not going to try it, so I'm not going to judge it. And that's a valuable lesson in life. If you're not going to try it, don't judge it. Obviously, there are one or two exceptions in life there, but, that's for a whole other video maybe. But for somebody else to do. So, hot blackcurrant, again, can't recommend it highly enough. Oh yeah, it cleanses the palate beautifully. But I mean, tea, coffee, cocoa, whatever, will do the trick. Now, also discussed that night was every year at that particular event, I invite my fellow adult colleagues to come up with ideas for me for pizza toppings, and it's the JOTI pizza, it's called. And I get some fantastic variations, and kind of the lines are open, as it were. I take suggestions for 10-15 minutes, and then I go off and have the pizza made with said toppings. Now, I'll give you the most extreme example I had was back in 2009, I think it was. Yeah, 2009, when it was suggested that I have a banana and extra cheese pizza on a Marmite base. Now, if you're not familiar with Marmite, it's a yeast extract that you spread on toast. But I've spread it. I've had a little bit of it on the side of a fry and dumped my sausages into it before eating that. I have never met anyone who sort of just likes it. Yeah, I can take it or leave it. Marmite, in fact, I think it was their slogan for years. Now, I am plugging a product here, but there is only one type of Marmite. So it's not like they've got much competition. But you either love it or you hate it. Now, I love the stuff. And if you're in Australia, you will swear by stuff. Australian youth leaders swear by this stuff called Vegemite, which I've never tried. Because it's not available in Ireland. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it in Britain either. I could be wrong. But I'm willing to try it. You know, at some point, you can get it on eBay apparently, so I might just go and order myself a jar of it now when I'm finished here. But the JOTI pizza for this year was a breakfast calzone. Now, a calzone pizza is basically a pizza, and while they're cooking it, they fold it in half. So it's like a burrito of pizzas, I suppose, or a tortilla. But it's a deep dish one, and it had the standard. Now, instead of a tomato base, it had a barbecue base, and it had extra cheese on it. But it had, because it was a breakfast calzone, it had sausage, bacon, and egg on it. Now, I was also suggested to add to that a couple of other bits and pieces, and one of which was prawns and mango, diced mango. So they didn't do the mango, so I had to get a mango in a tin and everything and chop it up small, and it was absolutely delectable. So I've actually photographed it on the day, because let's face it, no one will believe me. So this is a quick photo of what it looked like. Now that's served with a side order of spicy potato wedges, little mini wedges, which are basically deep fried chips but quite spicy, and dipped in chili mayonnaise. You're seeing a pattern here with the whole chili mayonnaise thing. So trying to describe this while typing, what I was doing on a chat room, it got a bit hard to describe. So because so many leaders asked me that night, any chance you could do a video of all these snacks you're talking about? So that's where this video came from. So hopefully it answers a few questions for you. If it doesn't, feel free to get in touch with me if you want a few more ideas, whatever. Feel free to get in touch with me. And you can, I'll leave a email address that you can contact me on right here. sandymount.heritage@gmail.com. Okay, that's my little company I run. So now I can't finish this video without sharing with you some of the sound bites and some from the radio station that night as they were hearing what was going on, the discussion in our chat room, and as they were describing it live. And I definitely can't finish this video without showing you some of the comments that were being typed up on the thing. I did a few screenshots of it. So I've removed all the usernames on it for even though usernames are provide good anonymity in these places, I've taken them out as well too. So you're just going to see a few comments that were left on the night, and some of the better ones, some of the ones I can show online anyway. And in fairness, it was all good natured banter. A good bit of friendly ribbon between a kindred grouping of men and women from all around the world, which is the way it should be. So this is just a little selection of what went on the night.
This is JOTI Radio.
You may have something to say. Jaffa cakes are cakes because they go hard when left out too long. Biscuits go soft. They were marketed as biscuits when they first came out because at their time there was a higher tariff at the export of cakes. Biscuits had a much lower tariff. Now you know. And his answer was, the Jaffa Cake story from Cormac before is true, but when they move them for the biscuit aisle, then I will call them cakes. Unless they put them in the drinks aisle, then I will call them Jaffa drinks. Or in the crisp aisle, Jaffa crisps. Now there's a thing.
Wow, this is better than the Houses of Parliament right now. This debate, I reckon. Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Gary, for coming back. If there's anything about Jaffa cakes that you don't know, I'm sure Gary will know. Okay, he is obsessed with Jaffa cakes. He even tried eating, for those of you that missed the show, and we haven't even asked this question tonight about biscuits, to be honest. This is obviously rolled over from earlier on when you were on with Gary, Ben. People were asking about biscuits. So it's fantastic that people have remembered that show. So well done to everybody, and great questions coming in. I love it. I love it when we get interaction on the radio. It makes great radio. It's boring when I get to sit here and have to play my songs. Well, I like it anyway. But you know, it's great. And yeah, if anybody needs to know anything about Jaffa cakes, ask Gary. He knows. He knows. But I still think they're a cake, not a biscuit. So, Cormac has messaged in from Ireland. Thanks, lads. You've inspired a lively debate in the Leaders channel about Jaffa cakes, which has now entered its second hour. Wow! They've been talking about Jaffa cakes for an hour, 2 hours. Blimey. As you can see, we only discuss the finer, deeper, more philosophical topics. I hope I pronounced that right. By the way, my favourite biscuit is a fig roll with the cheese spread on it. Why would you put cheese spread on a fig roll? Oh no. Oh no. I mean, bearing a fig roll is okay, but I can't imagine what it would taste like with cheese spread on it. Oh my goodness. Ben, you're absolutely wetting yourself by the sound of it. What? Why? What would possess you to put cheese on the fig roll?
Oh. No, it's your reaction.
Apparently he lives on in Mein Camp. Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm just feeling sorry for this leader that gets fed fig rolls with cheese spread on. I can't believe it. Oh. It must. Hey, I always tell my children, don't judge something unless you've tried it. So I'm just going to decide that I'm not going to judge the fact that a leader puts cheese spread on fig rolls, because I'm not going to even try it. So I can't judge it if I don't try it. So there you go, done. Closed, finished. The only thing I am going to say is, Rich, this needs to go down in history that we've just found out on JOTI Radio 2020 that a leader eats cheese spread on fig rolls. Unbelievable. But there you go. Thank you very much, Cormac, for your messaging. Absolutely fantastic. And I hope the debate carries on for another 2 hours about Jaffa cakes. JOTI Radio has a lasting legacy in the leaders' chat, apparently. So there you go.
The official station for your JOTI weekend. This is JOTI Radio. Powered by Avon Scout Radio. We are JOTI Radio.
Yeah, absolutely we are. So the boss here at JOTI Radio has asked for Cormac to send in a picture of a fig roll with cheese spread on it. He wants to see a picture. So there you go. That's your challenge now. That's your challenge. And we have just been told, beware, leaders, beware. Gary is on his way to the group chat. Beware. Beware. So we've just had another message in, and it's going back to the whole fig roll fiasco. We're in the woods of Pennsylvania. Haven't had a full meal for 3 days and still wouldn't eat a fig roll, much less with cheese spread. There you go. So they wouldn't even eat it, even if they've not had a meal for 3 days. That's, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where this fig roll with cheese spread has come from. We've set a new thing here. Let's have a look. Cormac has commented back in, Ben, hasn't he? Do you want to read that one out?
Oh, it gets worse. Yeah, Cormac again. It gets worse than that, lads. I often partake of a Garibaldi biscuit on camp with coleslaw. Also, each year during JOTI, I ask for suggestions in the leaders' chat room for my annual JOTI pizza. This year, based on several people's advice, I had a breakfast calzone pizza. Listen to this. Bacon, egg, cheese, sausage on a barbecue base with prawns and diced mango. Heavenly. In 2009, I had a banana, anchovies, and an extra cheese pizza on a Marmite base. Yum. I'll send a picture of the biscuits and pizzas from this year tomorrow afternoon, as I've just eaten the last ones. I'm now on my emergency supply of Pringles, Jaffa Cakes, and Iron Brew. God, I love JOTI.
Oh, no. Can you imagine ringing up a famous pizza place and ordering that? Can I please have this? I think you'd get some right funny looks, wouldn't you?
Can you is it actually possible to do that, is more my question.
Well, anything's possible, isn't it? You could put anything on top of a pizza, I suppose. There's a healthy debate, always a healthy debate, about whether pineapple belongs on a pizza. I think Cormac's just started a new one with mango. Does mango go on a pizza? I'm not sure. I wonder if the guys in Pennsylvania woods would eat that after 3 days of starvation with no main meal. I wonder.
Emmanuel from Dominican Republic has said, bro, I was just talking... It's disappeared, I think.
No, it's still there.
No, it's not. It's just moved up. Bro, I was just talking to a new friend I made in Puerto Rico, and he told me that they use something, doesn't say, to make a kind of ice cream called limber, and I decided to learn more about it. They really make ice cream about everything. Now, Gary's listening, and Jason, you're in the studio. They really do cheese ice cream. I can't believe it.
Oh, no. No. What about cheese and fig roll? I wonder about that one. I wonder. Well, we've got about 10 minutes left of our show. We're going to try and get through some of these requests, these wacky food ideas coming in. I would say it's making me feel hungry, but it's really not. And, what a show, Ben. What a show. We've had a great time. Thank you so much to everybody that's commented, sent us in requests for music, opened our eyes to a new delicacy. I'm sure that we will let you know once we've tried Jaffa Cakes and ice cream and Jaffa Cake cheese ice cream and fig rolls with cheese on and... You name it, we will try it. A mango on pizza. Does it go? I don't know. But hey, anything goes here on JOTI Radio.
This is JOTI Radio.
And there it is then. There's not really much more I can say, or do, or show, or demonstrate. So, what I suggest you is, if this video has inspired you, have a go. If you're watching this and you're a youth leader in any, whatever society, whatever organisation, be you a scout lead, be you involved with scouts, cubs, beavers, guides, rangers, rovers, if you're involved with just, you know, local community groups, if you're a teacher, if you're involved with the timekeepers, any other, if I'm missing out any organisations here, my apologies. If you're involved in any way with youth at all, it's a cracking activity to try with them. And you give them you sit down and let them have a planning session the week before, and then get them to get their ingredients together, and then the next time you meet a week later or 2 weeks later or whatever, and just have it on the night, give them 20 minutes to make their platters or whatever, and then judge them. But I would advise you bring something that you can cut the portions into small, more manageable bite-sized pieces, because we used to do a sandwich making competition, and when you've got 25 exhibits to judge, you don't want to eat 25 sandwiches. You'll be rushed to A&E, which would be in the States the emergency room, or casualty, or whatever it's called in your country, to get your stomach pumped. But they do. It never ceases to amaze me, and I'm never disappointed by the imagination of young people, what they come up with, and the little sides that they have, the side orders they have on the side, little garnishings and all that. So it's well worth trying as an activity. So give it a shot and see how you go. Like I said, if you need any help or information or ideas or counselling, after the event, the email address has been shown earlier. So I'm going to leave it there. And who knows what madness this might spawn, but as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or fattening. Well, it could be fattening, I suppose. As long as nobody gets hurt. And it's the one thing I will say to you though is, obviously, if you're, especially with young people, please do make sure that what they're making will conform with whatever dietary requirements they have. Make sure that they've checked the ingredients thoroughly, go over what it is they're going to make, and just make sure, because the last thing you want is someone in a hurry to put some seasoning on their sandwich or whatever they're making, and you suddenly discover that they're allergic to half the ingredients in it, and you're taking them off to hospital. So that's the one thing I'd say, just be very, very careful when what they're making, when you're going over with them in the pre-session that you have with them. Make absolutely sure that everything they can eat, that they're going to eat that night, is okay, that they can eat it. So I'm going to leave it there. So let me know how you get on, and we'll see you maybe next time for another weird and wonderful idea. So until then, take care.
Oh, no.